everyone, welcome to my channel Cypress Park Fur Family. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I really haven't done many videos with just me talking, and I don't plan to in the future, but I did want to put one up here on my channel just talking about the framework in which I train my animals. Now, I've said it before and I'm going to reiterate it, I'm not a professional animal trainer, so any views that I express are kind of my ideas and interpretations based on the learnings from a whole bunch of amazing trainers that I've had the pleasure of working with in the past. But it's really what has worked for me. And the reason that I wanted to put this video together was to inspire you to think about your own framework for training. So when I think about a framework for training, what I'm talking about is what things that can I use in my toolbox to set myself up for success for training the animal that's in front of me. As always, my overarching principle is be patient and be kind. But there are other little things that I can think about to ensure success. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is mood. So that's both my mood and kind of what's going on in the life of my animal. I'm not going to put emotions onto my animals because I can't truly know what they're feeling, but I kind of can use predictions through their communication and their body language. So for me, I always want to train or attempt to train when I'm feeling like I'm in a positive frame of mind. I want to come to the session and give it 110% because my animals don't deserve anything less. I've certainly trained in the past when I've been feeling upset, fatigued or anxious, and I think that the animals can really pick up on that, and it just hasn't been successful. So I think in instances like that, it's probably better just to sit down and have a bit of a cuddle, have a bit of a pat, maybe do some grooming and some bonding, and leave the serious training to another time. And then in terms of my animals, I want to catch them when it's probably the best time for them to train. So a really good example is my cat Daphne. So she's at home alone during the day, and as soon as I get home from work, she is a ball of energy. She is running around under my feet, and it is a great time to catch her to train. She is in the mood. She's been sleeping all day, and we can really make the most of our session together. The next thing that I think about in my framework and setting up for success is setting goals. So it really goes back to the why of why did I adopt my animals in the first place, and why do I want to live with them? And for me, I love having them a part of my life, and I want them to be as happy as they can be, and we can live in harmony with one another. So that really does kind of umbrella a lot of the training that I do. So I'll do a lot of things to work on our relationship building. I'll try and do things to work on husbandry, cooperative care, and just making sure that we can live in harmony together in this household. And then under that, each different animal has different kind of big goals that I set for them. So for example, at the moment, some big goals for Zorro, who is my Bull Arab cross, would be completing an endurance trial and also getting into his tracking. For Franklin, I'm really trying to work on his impulse control and his calm behaviour. And for Daphne, I've only had her for about 12 months, so we're still really getting to know one another. So at the moment, I'm focused on our bonding. And then from there, I can kind of frame each of my training sessions. So for an individual session, one of the big things I've learned is pick a small goal. So that's one of the things that I want to talk about when I do some commentary on my video is what goal was I trying to achieve during that session? And I'm still trying to wrap my head around, and it's something that I'm really working on, is making the goals really, really small, not asking my animal for the world and not pushing them at a pace just because it's something that I want to achieve. Perhaps one of the biggest things when setting up for success in an individual training session is the environment. So here at Cypress Park, I've got a lot of choices. I'm blessed to live on 42 beautiful acres of land in the central west of New South Wales. So I have an abundance of choice when it comes to my environment. But it's really looking at, okay, who am I training today? What goal are we trying to achieve? And what environment is going to be most conducive to achieving that goal that day? But at the same time, you can use the environment to challenge your animals. You've really got really good opportunities there. So we're blessed to be adjusting 6 beautiful mares at the moment. So with Franklin, with his impulse control, we've been taking him out and doing some sessions near the mares, but it's really important, I guess, to think about, okay, if my environment's really challenging, then my goal or what I want to achieve has to be a lot smaller. Whereas, so for example, if I'm asking Franklin for a sit in a quiet room, that's a tiny goal in a very, very easy environment. So I might push him a lot further. I might do it at a distance or ask for longer duration. But if I'm asking that and we're up against a fence with 6 horses looking at him, that picture is going to look completely different. So it's really about, as I said, creating this overall framework, and each of the elements work in with each other. It's not just the elements aren't siloed, they aren't individual. You've got to look at it as an entire package. And the last thing within my framework that I wanted to talk about was reinforcement. So I always use positive reinforcement with my animals. I'm a huge advocate for animal welfare, and I really just want to shape my sessions with positivity. But within that, there's a few things that I can think about. So what kind of treats am I going to be using? Are they high value? Are they low value? Are my animals getting paid, so to speak, for the work that they're doing? And also, so if I'm going to be doing lots of tossing of the food, is the food going to be kind of easy for me to toss and the dog to pick up? And also just making sure I'm ready with my treats. So for example, with my dog Franklin, who really struggles when there's food out, it would be extremely unfair of me in a session to have my food like in a plastic bag or in a bowl in front of him and then ask him to do something really tricky. So I've really got to think about having my treats kind of discreetly near me, and then rewarding him with them, but not setting him up to fail by putting them right out in front of him, because I know for him that's a challenge. I mean, it's something that we can work on, but then with the other elements in our framework, we might bring those down a level because we've brought the food up. So I hope that makes sense. So it's all about balancing all of these different things together. So balancing being in a positive mindset to start with, I think that's really important, but then balancing out what goal you've set with the environment, with the reinforcement. So I hope that helps you, and I hope that it gives you an understanding of when I do the commentary for my videos, the different things that I am looking at. And I am still learning. I make mistakes with these things all the time, but it is so important to be flexible. So if you get a minute into a session, halfway through a session, and something isn't working, having the flexibility to change and not being so rigid that you don't change the way that you're doing things. Animals will surprise you in both good and maybe not so good ways. And as the trainer, as their teammate, I like to think of myself as a teammate with my animal, having the flexibility to help them and help you as a team achieve the goal. So as always, everyone, be patient, be kind, and we look forward to seeing you next time.